And, this is kind of a side story, but it's a great way to highlight the point I'm making is there's somebody in my personal life who used to get up 6 a.m. every morning and have a cigarette. Was a smoker. This person, I'm so grateful, has quit smoking, has the worst time getting out of bed now. And when I realized this about me, about having something that pulls me out of bed, I realized that's what it is for this person as well. They're no longer pulled out of bed to have that morning smoke. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Tina. I am the owner of Picture It Personal Finance, where I act as a financial coach, helping small business owners and professionals get their money life in order so that they can do work they love. It is my passion to help people who are in the corporate world that want to start their own business be able to make that leap, get their money life in order so that they can confidently pursue that second career that's on their heart. And for those of you who are already entrepreneurs and are struggling with the stress and the anxiety of managing money and having zero money systems in place, I am here to tell you that there is a path, a simple formula to financial success. And that includes understanding what it costs to live your life, understanding what it costs to run your business, coming up with appropriate revenue goals, and then putting some simple systems in place. You'd be surprised how simple it is once you know all these elements. Now, today I am actually going to talk about something that's not really on the money spectrum, but it is something that those of us who are, go-getters might want to take advantage of. In a prior video, I had talked about the power of getting up early and how I had watched many successful entrepreneurs and, executives talk about the power of getting up early and being able to use that quiet time in the morning to really create an amazing start for your day. I had tried years and years to do this. I honestly think the first time I had heard about getting up early and this concept of a 5 a.m. club was in my 20s, probably like 26-ish. 25, 26 is when I first started learning about it outside of, super athletes who get up super early to work out and get their work, their first workout for the day and that early in the morning. But talking more about people who are just looking to have a successful career of sorts, how some of them also employ those ideas of getting up really early, like before the sun, and having impact in their business or in their career first thing in the morning before their mind can get distracted by social media and the news and all the other things going on, all the things. So I had tried for years and I was never able to do it. And I had always tried this thing where it's like, all right, if I can get up easily at 6:20, if I could just bump it back 15 minutes, then eventually I could get myself where I'm up between 5 and 5:30. And what I ultimately learned was that, and somebody said this in a passing remark, it's a dear friend of mine now, but when I met her, it's like we had just met, and she said in this passing remark, it's because the sleep cycle is like 60 to 90 minutes long. So just instead of bumping it back 15 minutes, bump it back an hour. And lo and behold, it worked. I went from getting up at 6:20 consistently to getting up at 5:20 consistently without really much difficulty at all. Until daylight savings. Daylight savings screwed me up so bad. I was unable to get out of my head that it was really 4:20. So for the longest time, I wasn't able to get out of bed at the right time. And mind you, it also was compounded by the fact that it was spring break, the kids were home, my husband was on vacation, so really none of us were getting up early anyway. And then when the new work week started, the kids went back to school, it's like the alarm would go off and I just was not getting up, right? I just told myself, it's not really 5:20, it's 4:20, and man, who wants to be up at 4:20? There was a mental barrier there that I could not get past. I'm happy to report that I am finally past it, but another thing that's made me less consistent with getting up early is that we're in storm season, so this is there's a lot of storms that roll through in the nighttime where I live at this time of year, and so my kids are getting up. One of my son is very afraid of the dark and of storms. So if he wakes up, it's like I have to get up and check on him. And the first time, if he can sleep through the whole night, it's amazing. But if he doesn't sleep through the whole night and he gets up once, it's very likely he's gonna get up 2 or 3 times. So for those of you who have kids that struggle with sleep, if you have tips, leave them below because I could use them. Now, that being said, I had been using that as an excuse to not get up. Like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, woe is me. I've been up so many times tonight. And I realized like I am not accomplishing what I want to accomplish, and I am not holding myself to a standard that I had established for myself. And I'm pretty tough on myself. So I decided there's got to be a way past this. Like I have to figure out how to get past these mental hurdles. And this is what I came up with. And honestly, it's a throwback to what I was doing before, but I just thought about it a little differently. So ultimately what ended up happening was, as you guys know, I keep an Erin Condren planner. Like I love my Erin Condren planner. I love writing things out. And what I've been doing is the day before, so at the end of my workday or during my workday, I will identify things that need to be accomplished the next day. And I try to keep the list short. Like sometimes I'll go crazy and I'll put like 6 things on there, but for the most part, I want it to be 3 or less items. And I don't designate throughout the day what's my top priority, but I will look at it at the end of my workday and I will know like, okay, this one's the one that's the most important. And this is the one that I'm going to devote immediate attention to. And what I've realized is a couple things. If I have a lighter meeting day that day, then the day that I have to get up, it's hard for me to get out of bed because I think I got time later in the day to do it. And so I will drag my feet. And the other thing I've realized, if I am slacking and not being sure to identify right before I go to bed, what are the things that I need to tackle first thing in the morning? If I don't, it's let me put it like this. When I know what my top priority is for the next day, and I think about it right before I go to bed, I will wake up thinking about it. Not necessarily to have like all the answers for it, although that sometimes happens, but I will for sure wake up and think I need to work on X. So for example, if I have a client meeting and my day prior was crazy and I didn't get all the prep work done that I wanted to get done for that meeting, I will get out of bed. I will feel pulled out of bed because I want to make sure that prep work is done before any curveballs get thrown to me for the day. So I will get up, I will get that prep work done before I look at email, before I look at social media. However, not before I do a couple things. And so this is a little funny side story. I am such a creature of habit. And so I have found that there is a certain order that I like to do things. And so for me, every morning, it is literally the exact same every morning. It is get up, pour myself a cup of coffee, which is less enjoyable than it used to be because I'm trying intermittent fasting out. My coffee is currently black, which it's been several months now and I'm not disliking it as much as I previously did. So there's hope that I will eventually be that really cool person who can just drink black coffee all the time. But I will get up, pour myself a cup of coffee, not dress it up. I will go to the couch. I will play Wordle. For those of you who have not gotten sucked into Wordle, like you're missing out. I think it's so much fun. I will do the Wordle for the day. Then I will pull out my Bible on my phone. I just read it in like the Blue Letter app. And I will read whatever is the daily reading thing I do the calendar they have. And then I will go to my desk. I will then pull out my journal. I will write anything that's come to me either from my reading the Bible or anything that I woke up thinking about that I hadn't already captured. And part of the reason I do it in this way is it's like my way of getting myself ready to turn all the lights on. Like there's something about looking at the glow of your phone and then turning and sipping some coffee that sort of prepares me for the blaring lights to be on. And then once the lights are on, it's like write my journal and get right to the number one task. Now, when I get up by 5:20, that means that I am essentially ready to get to my journal by 5:45. When I get up at 5:40, which sometimes happens, then I'm not ready to start journaling until around 6:20-ish. But that still leaves me 40 minutes before I have to get my kids up at 7. So no matter what, I'm ensuring that I have something to draw me out of bed so that I have time to do my morning routine and then be able to get this number one task done. When the number one task is done, then I can shift to the number two task if time permits, or I can go back to journaling, or I can, at that point, I'll permit myself to look at social media and see what else is going on, because I do try to stay active in my social media because, frankly, I get some people that way. I get some clients that way. But once I need to come up with a way to get past the sort of mental hangups I have about being woken up throughout the night or about daylight savings, it really being earlier than I'm telling myself it is, the trick for that is to know what your number one task is for the day and let that pull you out of bed. And, this is kind of a side story, but it's a great way to highlight the point I'm making is there's somebody in my personal life who used to get up 6 a.m. every morning and have a cigarette. Was a smoker. This person, I'm so grateful, has quit smoking, has the worst time getting out of bed now. And when I realized this about me, about having something that pulls me out of bed, I realized that's what it is for this person as well. They're no longer pulled out of bed to have that morning smoke. That morning smoke would draw them out of bed. And so I was encouraging this person to think of something else that could draw them out of bed so that they could start getting up earlier again, because they miss, having that extra time in the morning, but they've just been struggling. So again, if you want to get up earlier and you're struggling with it, think of a thing that can draw you out of bed. All right, guys, I promised in my last video that I would give you an update on getting up early. So here it is. Hope you all are having an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video.